Hello, I'm Christina Stαυράκη and I'm an EFL teacher at the 2nd Primary School of Nαupaktu. This presentation is about profiling EFL learners' needs in primary education. The mini-scale needs analysis described in this video has helped to detect and define the learners' needs, to match their needs to the teaching context, and to assist the creation of appropriate material or the modification of the existing one. After a short description of the teaching context and a brief discussion on its analysis theory, a questionnaire is designed and administered to the target group students, and its results are presented and discussed with a view to designing and implementing a more learner-centered syllabus. Needs analysis in the teaching-learning context is a process of collecting information about students' needs, wants, and lacks in order to build a comprehensive understanding and identify potential solutions. On defining needs, several researchers have proposed different ways of doing so. Most commonly, learners' needs fall into two broad categories: objective needs, which are content-related and involve factual information, and subjective needs, which relate to the process of learning and describe the learner's cognitive and affective profile. There are also proficiency needs, psychological humanistic needs, specific purposes needs, target needs, learning needs, inferred needs, and expressed needs. Although conducting a needs analysis seems to be a requisite procedure, this is not usually the case in the general English classroom, where teachers usually follow a preset curriculum, supposing that they are not entitled to carry out needs analysis, since these had already been conducted by the official stakeholders. It is beyond doubt that needs analysis can be a really valuable tool. Nevertheless, the subjectivity of its findings should not be ignored. As it is argued, future needs cannot always be accurately predicted. There may be deficiencies or inaccuracies in the way the needs analysis is conducted, as the registered needs might be considerably diverse, and the results are subject to students' non-objective judgment. The needs analysis presented in this video involves the 37 students of the 6th grade of the 2nd Primary School of Nαupaktu, whose level can be described as A2, Basic User. Generally speaking, most students seem to be fairly interested in the lesson, and the participation level of the class is quite satisfactory. The integrated foreign languages curriculum, which is designed to be a tool in the teacher's hands, gives them the chance to develop their own syllabus and organize their lessons by using existing materials and creating new ones. The questionnaire administered to the students of the 6th grade is anonymous and consists of 11 questions with an estimated time for completion of about 15 to 20 minutes. It starts with a brief preface, informing students about its purpose and explaining how the collected data will be used. Its layout is simple, neat, and comprehensible to children of this age. It consists of close-ended questions which provide a framework for the students' responses and allow for a systematic and time-saving analysis of the collected data, open-ended questions to cater for the spontaneously expressed learners' necessities, and Likert-type scale questions which specify students' attitude to English language learning, as well as their disposition towards their coursebook, using symbols and face icons instead of words and numbers in an attempt to be more child-friendly. One of the most important findings of this needs analysis questionnaire is the students' overall attitude towards learning English. The vast majority, 35 out of 37 students, expressed the opinion that they like learning English. Bearing in mind that students' answers were anonymous, this result is surely worth mentioning. Although students have demonstrated their positive attitude towards English, 1/3 of the class seems to be quite discontented with their coursebook. Another essential issue the teachers sought to know is the students' motives for learning English. The most popular answer to the question, "Why are you learning English?" was to communicate with people from other countries, and the second one was to travel. To the teacher's great surprise, the third most popular unprompted answer was "because I like it." Students' self-ratings considering their proficiency in the 4 skills show that most of them express the opinion that they do not have any considerable difficulties in the skills. Regarding learning styles, most students seem to favor visual and auditory ways of learning. However, since there is not considerable divergence between their choices, it can be argued that students exhibit a combination of preferred learning styles. Similarly, their preferences on collaborative mode of work are equally shared, while there is a notable number of students who opt for individual work. Lastly, the majority of the students agreed that the teacher helping them to spot and correct the mistakes themselves was clearly the most favored correction policy. Needs analysis is conducted with a view to assessing and reflecting on its findings as points of reference for future syllabus or course development. Students' negative or moderate disposition towards their coursebook surely implies that these changes involve modifications or even creation of new material tailored to the class profile. Since the majority of students learn English for communication reasons, more speaking and listening tasks should be incorporated in the syllabus with a combination of visual, oral, auditory, and haptic learning methods. Similarly, tasks may be designed to engage students in pair and group work as well as individual learning. The teacher should also notice that most students have chosen teacher's guidance and not overt correction. Last, tasks and activities should be designed or modified bearing students' wants in mind in order to make them more attractive and engaging. What is more, triangulation of methods is highly advisable to ensure impartial assessment using subjective instruments such as unstructured interviews, group discussions, asking students to keep logs, non-participant observation, and applying narrative frames, as well as objective data collection methods such as collecting student language samples and test data. Finally, needs analysis has to be an ongoing process that helps the teachers review their aims and objectives and modify their teaching materials. It determines the goals and the content of the syllabus, makes students more purposeful in their learning, and introduces a new approach on designing and implementing a more learner-centered syllabus. Thank you.